It's just another day. It's just another day. It's just another day.
Gentlemen,
Something a little different.
I have been working on making our little reels section. These are all timestamps from previous episodes. You know what's the hardest thing is for me to go back and listen to them after I've already edited them a bunch and try and remember where funny things are or things that is interesting that I think would be cool to pull out.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish I could just hire somebody to do that.
That would be great.
That's my goal. Because
At some point in time.
it is tough listening to stuff from almost a year ago. I've almost been doing this for over a year. That's the mind-blowing thing. It'll be a year.
Mind-blowing thing is I'm the only asshole, one, who doesn't have their camera on, and two, doesn't have glasses of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Bro, get blind.
I am. I don't need to get. I'm there. I just refuse to put
Adam's wearing his contacts right
lenses
now
on.
and his glasses.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Are you like a bionicle now? Are you like super sighted?
I loved Bionicles.
Yeah.
No, I wish I had that. If I got LASIK, I would be. But
Dude, I should have
LASIK
put
right now.
that on my list the other week. Bionicles.
Bionicles.
Did you guys own those?
I had two of them.
No.
I did too. They were the Lego like hybrids. Lego probably bought a separate company and made those.
I may.
No,
have
they're just straight
one
up
of them
Lego.
before, but I didn't play with them.
No, I'm saying I bet Lego saw somebody came to them with like a prototype of like this is a new idea for you, and then they bought that shit Shark Tank style
Yeah.
because it's so out of the
Elon
realm.
Musk style.
Yeah, buying Twitter.
Yeah.
Actually, you
big
know what?
move.
You know what? I think it's not Lego now that I think about it. I think it was the Connects.
It's owned by Lego.
Yeah.
What Connects is or
No, no.
Bionicle?
Bionicle was like their response to Connects.
Yeah,
was
and
like
then they
they're
had
trying to
movies
make
and
a
shit and video
competition.
games.
Are you sure it was? I mean, I'm not discounting it. I feel
I
like
will
I
look
remember
up.
seeing it
Take
like
it to
in a
the
Connects
research.
thing.
Take it to
That's
research.
research.
But as he's researching,
Bionicle was a line of Lego construction toys.
boom.
All right, okay. The
It might-
pieces of it are the pieces that I remember putting together is why I was like, no, I feel like it might have been a Connects thing because you have those like thin
Very,
star-shaped
very similar.
tubey pieces and shit.
This was definitely Lego's attempt of making a Connects set.
Very true.
Hey man,
But it is worth it though because those were cool. I had the red one and the white one. I don't remember their names, but those are the two that I
I had the white one
Um,
too, dude. That one was sick.
Yeah, he looked cool.
He did look cool. They had like hockey mask type faces. Like I always thought of them as like little like, because you would they had faces, but then you'd put a mask over top of them and shit, and they had swords, and it was cool.
That was the big reason was just like the mask idea. And like masks are just cool. I enjoy a masked character such as a Casey Jones.
Or Jim Carrey in the
Jim
mask.
Carrey as the mask.
Definitely
That-
not Mask 2.
Oh,
No,
you don't want
no.
Jamie Kennedy?
Never. There's nothing that I love more than seeing Jamie Kennedy fail. I just can't get
He looks-
behind him.
Terrible right now, I'm pretty sure.
You know who doesn't look
Hey.
terrible? Brittany.
Brittany who?
She's
She's
glowing.
pregnant.
Yeah. She's glowing.
Who we taught Brittany who?
Spears.
Oh, Britney Spears.
Yeah, she's pregnant.
See, I don't know, man. I'd be seeing the videos she's posting and shit, and I'm just like, this looks like just a desperate woman. There's something wrong here.
Yeah, dude.
And it's not
desperate.
the desperation that's turning me off. I just don't think she's still got it like that. Like, and I'm into milfs. Don't get me wrong, you know. But that one, there's just,
She's got a little something else going on there.
yeah, it's just something about her. I'm just like, it's not it.
Meth with sandwich.
Wait, okay, where is this?
Well, fuck. I'll introduce the show. I
Amanda
guess.
Bynes released
Oh.
a rap song.
Oh.
When finally, because that was supposed to come out like a decade ago. I feel like.
Yeah, it was very like today or yesterday. I forget.
Damn, she just took.
didn't-
God damn, that's
I
how you know the
didn't
world's
listen to
changing.
it yet.
I can't
I
play it
gotta
on the
find
air,
it and listen to
but
it.
we'll have to.
I gotta fucking find it.
I think. All right.
Okay. Intro.
We got to intro it. I realized the past few episodes we haven't introed. My fault.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah, I know.
Oopsie daisies.
Oops. Oopsies. Oopsie poopsies. Well, this is... Wait, no. Hold on. Shit, I'm already fucking it up. It's been so long since it's just another day with...
David.
Elliot. This week is the part 2 of the draft 2 spy
Part 2.
mystery movies. To be fair, this was hard. I say this every time. I'm going to say this every time, I think. I think I'm always going to say, to be honest, this was difficult.
That's what she said.
It's my own
What's
fault.
difficult is this fucking Amanda Bynes song.
Why?
It's awful.
Yeah, no
I'm
shit.
20 seconds into this, it's
You know what's impressive? Baby No Money has a song with Rebecca Black. Love me some Baby No Money. But you know who has a
Yes, had
dank
to
song? Young Gravy with, I think it's T.I. The song's called Hot Tub. Look that shit up. That's a banger.
How old is it?
It's this year.
that's maybe the worst song
Okay.
I've ever heard in my life. Sorry. Got fucking light.
Yeah, I see you flickering.
It's been doing that for days, but whatever. I don't give a shit.
That's all right. I changed lights, bro. Housework so far. I've put a toilet in. I've changed wall sockets, lights. I gotta fix a sink. Gotta buy a lawnmower tomorrow. Guys, am I a dad somehow? David's gonna be a dad, but like I feel like I'm living the king of the hill life down here. I'm about to be hanging out, drinking out front of my yard, going, "Yep,
Yep.
Good dude.
yep."
But also, a banger of a song is 2002 by Anne Marie.
Yeah. Is this
That's
the?
a
We making this
It's a
part of the show
certified
where
platinum bang.
we recommend? This is our
well, you guys
recommendation
recommended
section.
songs. I had to recommend one.
That's
not
fair
the-
enough.
Not the Amanda Bynes stupid song.
We'll let you have a take backsies.
I was never gonna recommend it, but boy, was it something.
It's a doozy.
It's just bass. That's all you hear is bass. You can't even hear words.
Sometimes
He's like,
sometimes bass is hot, man.
No, not in this case.
Fuck. So far,
Sorry, where were we going? Yeah,
I
sorry.
was just thinking about like the stories. I honestly I do think this time I fucked myself because I stuck with my first idea of a story. And the first idea is always the worst. You always take the first idea and throw that to the side, and then that second idea, that's the gold.
Nah, first one's usually the best.
Mine ended up being a fucking
This is a stinker of a one for mine too. Don't worry.
I mean, well, here's your thing. You had the boob team.
I had the Boob Squad, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, at least you'll have like a fallback where you set up a challenge for yourself each time.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But even like just like this category, like the theme and the genre, really puts you in a box. In this
Yeah.
one, it was very difficult to try to come up with an idea that was different than like
Every
your
other movie.
traditional like spy movie.
Or you go the classic route and you just write a classic spy movie.
That's exactly what I did. 'Cause I could not come up with a better idea. Although I had a bunch of quarter baked ideas, but I just could not get them to the finish line.
I could tell you one of my ideas I had that I wrote to the side. Let me see. I had a Formula One team sends a spy to another team to steal information. And
That
it's
was
about
one of
figuring
my
out who.
quarter ideas.
And I was like, I can't do that. I was like, because one, how do you even
Exactly.
how do you make it so that there's a stakes? And that's
Yeah.
kind of like what a spy movie is, and a mystery. What would be the
Yeah.
mystery? Who is the spy in Formula One? Like, there's nothing to be gained.
Yeah, you would have to put it as like everything is focused on the one team that's getting like infiltrated. But then like you slowly start to see things like,
Like that team's
Getting-
actually stealing information from someone else or some shit. You'd have to do the old
Yeah,
switcheroo.
yeah.
Who was Kaiser
That was one of
Soze?
my ideas, like a sports kind of like racing type of thing, but I just couldn't quite
I almost
figure it out.
I also almost did the Astros controversy of when they stole signs. I was going to make it about that, and I was like, but how do I make that story?
How's it? Yeah,
How do I make that
It's-
a movie that's worth seeing?
right. Yeah.
David, you said you had an easy time. Explain yourself. What was your
Oh,
process?
It was very simple. For some reason, as soon as we were sitting there going to do the fucking spin, I was like, if we ever get a spy movie, this is gonna be the easiest thing in the world. I'm just gonna write some type of James Bond sequel.
A spy
I'm gonna write
thriller.
it'll either be a sequel or it'll be an actual, just separate on its own James Bond type esque movie.
Golden
So is
Eyes.
Yeah, exactly. I was already set and ready to go. I had my idea kind of like planted, so it really wasn't that hard, and it didn't take me that long to write. And I made sure it was more short, sweet, to the point. Got it out there, so I wasn't going on and on. So I don't know, man. It felt really easy. Once I think the problem was for you two, especially then, is you just didn't have a base. Like for me, I had my base set before I even knew the whole shit was happening. I was like, if I ever write a spy movie,
Yeah.
gonna be James Bond. It's gonna be boom. Unfortunately, you guys were like, well, I want to do something like you said, like a race.
I want to
thing.
wrait
It's
a
like,
new
yeah, that-
thing.
I just
Yeah,
I was trying
that's
to
tough.
go a little outside the box of a traditional spy movie, but
Just make something
just
interesting for
couldn't quite-
myself.
yeah,
I'm with you. It's
instead of
just
writing
how
a
do-
standard spy. It was just kind of. I found
I
it
mean,
hard to
it's-
get motivated to write it. Let's put it that way.
oh yeah, if you don't
The
give a
writing
shit
was easy.
about
The
spy
motivation
regardless.
to do it, I just couldn't get there.
You couldn't find an inspiration because you didn't want to. You didn't want basically because you were like, well, one of us is going to write the typical spy movie. If I also write it, then we're all going to have the same movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, somebody could still tell a better story though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, at that point,
Oh,
then we're
for
just
sure.
comparing. Which apple's the
What's
best
the-
apple?
yeah.
Gala, Jazz, or this fucking candy?
Candy apples, you
apple.
throw candy apple.
brown bear, Kodiak bear.
Yeah. Well, I can name these bears. I can't name these bears.
I almost did.
No,
you
you
didn't.
almost did.
I
You weren't even
did.
close.
You named like 4 different brown bears.
No, he didn't get to 4 because my. Oh yeah, sorry. He
I
didn't even
did.
get to 4 because
Brown
my,
bears.
my bet was that he couldn't even get to 4 bears, and I think he just got 3.
I got
Yeah, you got
5.
3.
I just edited
What?
this. I heard 5. I got 5.
No, you did
gave me
not.
credit for 5.
No, I
That doesn't
didn't.
sound right.
You
Name
did.
5 bears. Name 5 type of bear. Go
Right
ahead.
now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's the 2 black bears. So I could see now I know them
Oh,
all. 'cause
come
there's-
on now.
there's
Did
this-
you know him?
There's a sloth
names?
bear. There's a panda bear. There's black bear, brown bear. Then you have the what was it called? The tiger bear. It was like a slant-eyed bear thing. It's an Asian bear.
Racist.
I know it sounds so bad to say that. I can't remember the names of them because I sorry. I apologize. I got to 5 there. That's pretty good for me. To quote
Listen, I'm-
Meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I'm glad you
You
remember.
missed the sun bear. You missed.
That's the one I was trying to remember because I was saying because then I went on the rant. I don't want to repeat a bit. Let's move past the bit.
Listen to the last one.
There'll be a clip. I've already made notes for it. We're going to
Well,
have reels soon. Real soon.
Good.
I got a new fact for the day, so
Save that for the
be
end.
prepared for that.
That's going to be the pick-me-up for the loser. So what order we doing, you think, this time around?
What
'Cause
did we do last time?
I think it was
Did
draft
we go
order.
first?
We did
just
draft
went
order.
Yeah.
Did we do
That means I go
DAE?
first.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
this time it's AED.
Yeah.
So let's
Sounds like
quick
sounds like an
recap.
erectile dysfunction.
For those, if somebody's listening to this for the first time, we've been doing this new format for the show. We do a D&D episode, then we do a random episode of fun, and then we've been doing these 2-parter draft episodes where each week, or for 1 week, we'll draft actors based on what the spin wheel gives us for genre and theme of the movie. Then we judge each other based on what the movie incorporates and if it hits the themes or if it's entertaining. And the loser gets the spin wheel of punishment, which David lost the first week and now is going to be in possession of a Bob Ross.
No.
No,
Oh,
Guy
no,
Fieri.
sorry, it's Guy
Fieri.
Fieri. Sorry.
Guy
It's
Fieri,
Fieri. It's Fieri.
Fieri is how it's
Fieri.
pronounced.
Yeah, where are the T's? I want to know where the T's are.
In
Italian,
Italy.
dude. Fucking
Yeah.
relax.
Oh, no. Don't you tell me. No, don't start.
The best part is he's holding a burger.
Come on.
Don't do that to me.
Hey,
I'll
you
do
fucking,
whatever I
you
want,
fucking
dude.
do that to me.
I'll do whatever I want.
you're talking to me?
Hey, don't. I got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
But yeah, so we've been doing these fun little movie drafts, and I don't know, I find them quite hard.
This one was terrible.
But Adam, the floor is yours.
Okay, I guess I gotta pull this up. Hold on.
Oh, by the way, I also didn't title my movie again.
Oh, I just did it about right before I hopped on here, and it's the most basic title of all time.
Is it just title?
Oh. No, it's called The Organization.
Oh,
Nice. Are they organized?
Maybe. Not so much. All right, so we got. How did we do this last time? Did we introduce the characters and then go through it, or I forget?
I think it was basically you explain who you draft, and then as you go through the movie, you can reveal the characters.
I
I
got it.
think that's how it was.
That's
I mean,
right.
I've literally not been writing names for my characters because it's less confusing if you just use the actors' names. That's what I've been doing.
Oh, I wrote character names, so
That's fair.
Sorry, I'll understand.
point for me.
Yeah.
Bing, boom.
Creativity.
Boom, boom.
Put it on the scoreboard, baby.
All right.
Check.
I had the Boob Squad. I drafted the Boob Squad.
Boobies.
In terms of Brad Pitt, whose character's name is Clint Black. Oliver Hudson, whose name is Finn Walker.
I have to look him up. I forget who. You've told me before, but I don't
Yeah.
know what he looks like.
You'll probably know him when you see him. He's been in quite a few stuff. Olivia Newton-John. Her character name is Babs Kagan. And Bryce Dallas Howard, whose name is Lacey Cooper. All right. Where do we start? Okay. Like I said, the title of this is called The Organization.
Word.
Starts with a montage of Clint and Lacey completing separate missions. Oh, I should have explained. They're both spies.
Oh, shit. Are you fucking serious?
whoa.
I
This
should've
is a
put that
spy
out
mystery, Adam.
I should have put that out there as
Well,
to what they
spoiler
are.
alert. They're
Yeah.
spies?
Names.
Yeah.
A little rusty here, boys.
It's been a bit.
Yeah. Go back to the characters for 1 second here.
Now you're good.
Brad Pitt and Bryce Dallas Howard's characters, they're both spies. Oliver Hudson, he's an analyst. And then Olivia Newton-John is the head of the organization.
Word.
There you go.
Love it.
All right. Starts with a montage of Clint and Lacey completing separate missions. You know, just your classic kind of spy action kind of missions you see in like a James Bond type of movie. Does all that, says the title of the movie. Clint returns to headquarters for debriefing after his mission with Babs. While they're kind of discussing what was going on, Lacey, she interrupts the meeting as she came back from her mission kind of around the same time. They kind of have a little bit of an argument. They're kind of like kind of rivals. You can kind of feel that as they're interacting within this meeting. That Lacey and Clint are kind of friendly rivals within the organization. They're both trying to be like the top dog. So since Clint was there first, they kind of finished up his debrief, and he gets dismissed back to his desk. Lacey then joins back over in that area. They're kind of bragging to each other what they did on their mission, and just trying to one up each other the whole time. A few days kind of pass. Babs calls them both back to her office, where they're joined by Finn, who is the analyst, and he kind of went through all the data that they both gathered. Um, they kind of realized that both of their missions were kind of tied together, and they didn't know it until then. Both of them are like, "Oh, well, this is my mission." Clint and Lacey are both saying, "Oh, well, this is my mission. You know, I've started on this first. I have more of the info." They're trying to compete with each other to take over, the lead, for gathering information on this other party. Babs is like, "You know what? You guys just need to work together on this one. This is a huge mission that we're huge, I guess mission that that we're trying to get all this data about, and you guys just need to work together." She also gives them a few other, kind of agents or to kind of work with them so that they don't get, compromised while they're, gathering data in this other, party. Everything starts out fine. Another kind of montage thing. Everything's kind of going to plan. They're gathering data, all this kind of stuff. Then things start to go a little bit awry. Two of the other people that were assigned to work with them, they end up getting killed. They're kind of pulled back to reassess what's going on. Like, how did they die? All that kind of stuff. Once they get pulled back, they're trying to figure out how everything kind of went awry. Finn makes some kind of discovery that Babs is actually involved with this other party. So that's how they're starting to put it together. Like, okay, she's the one that's kind of releasing data, to get these agents killed within this other, organization, this other party. So they get together. They go to confront Babs. Obviously, she has the power within within the organization. And she's like, "You know what? I think you guys are in on it." She sends, she kind of gets the rest of everyone else to turn on Clint and Lacey. So they kind of detain them. They take them down into like a torture cell, I guess, if you want to call it. They're just kind of questioning them, torturing them, trying to figure out what they know. While they're, being questioned and tortured, the headquarters gets, attacked, by the other party, since they obviously know that this organization is trying to get, data from them. Once HQ is getting attacked, Clint and Lacey, they're kind of left on their own. They end up escaping, kind of, just doing their typical kind of stuff where they, escape, and they're going to trying to fight Babs. They're fighting both parties at this point in time. They're fighting their own agents within, their organization, as well as the people that are attacking headquarters. They eventually, after getting through a whole bunch of other people, they get to Babs' office, only to find her tied up, and Finn's holding a gun to Babs. So now they're putting it all together. Finn is the one that's been releasing data, but he's trying to take down their organization. So he's flipped the whole script on him again. He kind of explains, what he's doing as any kind of antagonist does in any kind of spy movie. They tell exactly what they're doing and why they're doing it. Stupidest fucking thing in the world. Just like, move on, dude. But that's just a realist in me. So yeah, he goes through all that kind of stuff. He's saying he's going to bring down the organization. There's all of his, agents and things like that, his goons, if you want to call it that, and they're now kind of surrounding the office. They're, surrounding everyone there. Um, Finn's like, all right, well, you know what? You guys are surrounded. You guys have no weapons or anything like that on you. He starts to bolt. He leaves them to be handled by his goons. As he's leaving, he kind of figures, you know what? Let's get my hands dirty a little bit too. He turns around, boom, shoots Babs. Because he's like, she's the head of the organization. You might as well cut off the head of the snake right then and there. He might as well do it. So he shoots her. So then he kind of gets going. He's on his way out. Obviously, then all the goons are kind of closing in on Clint and Lacey. They start kind of fighting them off as the best they can, but they're clearly outnumbered, and they can't obviously win. But just to, kind of as they're like, oh shit, here we go, we're done for. One of them gets shot by Babs, who isn't actually dead. She got a little clipped, in the shoulder, but she just went down, she really got killed. She takes out a couple of them, so then now it's a little bit more even. They do a cool little fight scene. Obviously they're going to take out all the goons. Where was I here? Then, obviously they took him out. They're chasing after Finn. They find him leaving via the organization's helicopter, which is on the roof of the building. Obviously, he's taken off. He's flying away. Clint and Lacey are like, "Oh fuck, we're done for." He's got all the info. We have no way of getting to him now. All this kind of stuff. They're freaking out. Babs is just laughing away. She's like, "He's an idiot. All of our vehicles have tracking on them." She calls in a favor. Helicopter gets shot down over the water. Obviously, Finn dies within that helicopter crash into the water. Then just kind of jumps to those three kind of walking away from the building. 3 years later, whatever it is, they rebuilt the organization, and now they're training new recruits. End of movie.
I'm clapping. I want you to know.
Clap, 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 clap.
I like it.
Like I said, it's very standard. Nothing.
Down the road, it was a fastball down the center.
Yeah.
You wrote a spy movie.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Got the task. Boom. Do the task.
Brad Pitt being named Cliff.
Clint.
Clint. Sorry. Oh no, sorry. I was mixing Cliff because that's what he is in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That was why my name was like, no, that wasn't right. I just said I was like Brad Pitt in a real movie.
Yeah.
Adam, you've tricked me. Well,
Also,
fuck.
my name's Olivia Newton-John's character Babs because apparently that's another name for boobs.
Nice.
Yeah, I say Babs
I had
all
to
the
do
time.
it. I had to put that tie in there somewhere. The boob squad.
Fair enough.
It would
I
have been a little
appreciate
too
it.
on the nose if you just called her titties.
You mean two on the nips?
And then I was also trying to figure out how to name the organization Boob, Bureau of Organizational. I just couldn't think of another word to put in there. Well, Bureau of Organization. I couldn't think of another B word to associate with spying or espionage or something. I couldn't think of one.
Fair enough.
That's what that was what I spent
You should have
probably
made it tit.
2 hours trying to figure that out.
I appreciate that. Well, fuck. I have to follow up that story with mean. My actors were Jason Alexander, Michael Keaton, Sean Beam, and Chris Hemsworth. And the title of my movie is Unclassified. Yeah, this was before I even start with the movie, I will say the hardest thing I think I had challenge wise was what movies should I let influence my movie structure, think about like some of the best spy movies, and to me, I think the best spy movie ever made was Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, which if you haven't seen, I highly recommend. But okay, so my story is the U.S. defense is tracking leaking information. 3 men are approached at separate times by men in black suits. They are then thrown into separate interrogation rooms. So the classic panel of 3 different scenes happening across a screen of these men being captured. And we see each of them as we see Michael Keaton, Sean Beam, and Jason Alexander all thrown into different interrogation rooms. We then learn that all 3 are former government classifying agents that would go back in information. They all worked together in the early 80s up into the 90s. Their job was to go over old records and classify information and go through and with a black marker cross off stuff on documents so that whenever they're declassified, certain information is protected. It's revealed during the interrogations that Jason Alexander is now a CEO of a major tech company. Sean Beam runs a private security company, and Michael Keaton now owns a flower shop with his boyfriend Chris. We also
his what?
His boyfriend Chris.
With the what and the who and the where?
Hemsworth. We learned that there's been a leak of information to different governments across the few years that have been being sold on the black market. The Chinese government got a certain bit of technological information, but the government's revealing that it's one piece of a bigger puzzle from information that was classified from a mission in the 1950s during the end of World War II of plans for a nuclear design sub approaching a coast and self-detonating, causing a tsunami that was codenamed Project Kami. That project was classified 3 different times, once in 1955, again in 1976, and finally the last time it was basically going through the classifies was in 1984. You find out the team of those 3. And we see documents of all 3 of them working. It's just the standard photo of 3 people sitting in an office, like waving. And another thing we learned is in 1984, another classified document surfaced about a spy plane design that also happened to end up in Russians' hands a few years back. Now we get to the part where we are learning about they're launching a formal investigation into the whole group of the 1983 to 1987 team that was hired to classify the information, which consists of our 3 people before they went anywhere. They explained to them, we're going to look into your background. If we find out which one of you is releasing government information, you'll be tried for treason, you'll lose all rights and privileges, and be facing life in federal prison. They'll basically be contacting you anytime. So they send all 3 of them out, and after being released, Michael goes back to his work, his flower shop, because he has nothing to hide. He's fine with it. He just gets home and to the flower shop, and Chris is like, well, I haven't seen you for 72 hours. Like, I called the cops and I've been worried. And Michael's like, look, you have nothing to worry about. He explains, Chris, I was approached by former government officials. They asked me some questions. I can't disclose everything, but just don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. I have nothing to hide. It gets to nighttime. You see Michael and Chris are in bed. Chris is asleep, and Michael is laying there, and his phone's vibrating. And he picks it up. It says unknown caller. He answers it. On the other line is Jason Alexander, and he says, look, I was approached by officials. They're asking about our old team and about certain information. Can we meet for lunch tomorrow? Michael's like, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. He's like, where do you want to meet? And Jason's like, I'll send a car for you. You know, we'll meet and just have a brief lunch. Well, Michael wakes up, tells Chris he's got a few errands to run, but then he'll be back at their shop later tonight. So he gets in the car, and when he gets to the restaurant, he sees Sean Beam sitting at the table, and Sean's like, holy shit, it's been forever, Michael. How are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm good. How are you doing? What are you here for? And Jason Alexander approaches from behind and is like, all right, great. We're all here. Let's have lunch. And they just have a casual montage of them just sitting, telling stories, explaining about their new lives and different things they've been doing, and laughing and telling old stories about how they used to powwow and stuff. A couple hours go by. It goes from lunch to like early dinner, and we see the drinks piling up on the desk, or on the table. Sorry, I said desk. I'm an idiot. Finally, after a few hours, Jason's like, guys, I'm scared. He's like, they're going to think I'm a traitor. And, Michael and Sean look at each other and are like, well, like, are you? Like, why are you scared? And they all kind of laugh. And Jason's like, look, you know how this works. I work in big tech. It would make the most sense for someone like me, who's a CEO, to be one giving off information for personal gain and wealth, and seen as a traitor. And he's like, more so than you. And he points at Michael, and Michael just goes, it could be none of us. He's like, I know you guys wouldn't do this. We're all patriots. Jason's like, well, me and Sean run international businesses, so we have connections to other world's agencies. You run a flower shop. And he's like, and no offense, it's not like you're ever going to be seen as a threat. And then Sean's kind of like offended at this, and he stands up, and Michael gets up as well. And Michael's like, look, I don't think we have anything to fear. He's like, I know it's not me, and I trust you guys. He's kind of offended that they don't think of him as anything but basically because he's an older gay man that runs a flower shop, they think less of him, and he thinks they're being all snobby. He just thanks him for dinner and pulls out some money from his wallet and throws it on the table, and Jason's like, don't worry about it. And Michael's like, my money's not good. And he's like, no, you can pay for your half, it's fine. And Michael gets a cab and heads home, and as Michael gets to his house, the front door's busted open. And he's like, what the fuck? And he looks, and there's a notice on the front door that there's been a warrant, like they raided his house. They had a warrant to raid his house. And he's calling Chris's phone, and he hears it ringing, and he hears crying. And behind, in the kitchen behind like the island, is Chris just sitting on the floor crying. And so he comforts him. Cut to the next day. Shows it's late at night. It's parking garage. Jason is just leaving the office, and he's heading towards his car. And he's on his phone talking. He's fumbling with his keys. And he hears a motorcycle rev up, and he turns, and he can't see, and the motorcycle light's blinding him. And he's squinting, and all you hear is bang, bang, and tires squeal. We see flashing lights of an ambulance, and cut to, we find out Jason is not dead, but he's in a coma. He's in a hospital room being protected by two men in suits. Outside the hospital is Sean, and he's on the phone. And he calls Michael to inform him what happened. He's like, look, I just got word Jason was shot. I don't think we're safe. I think somebody's targeting us. And he's like, be on the lookout. Like, make sure you're strapped. Like, be ready for anything. I don't know what these people are capable of. So Michael, being like, oh, fuck, he goes to the flower shop to tell Chris everything and warn him some men are trying to, get them. But when he shows up to the flower shop, he sees it's already been shot up. It's in rubble. Like, the windows are all broken. It looks like a little fire must have broken out at some point. And he finds Chris sitting behind the counter, also crying again. Like, he looks very distraught. And Chris tells Michael, he's like, look, I can't do this any longer. I can't handle all of this. And Michael just is like, look, I'm sorry. Like, go stay. Go, you have friends, you have family in the area. Like, go stay with somebody tonight. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to solve this. I'm going to take care of us. And Chris goes off, you know. And Michael is like, all right, I know I have cameras all over this place to protect my shop. So he goes and finds the security footage. And he sees on it that Sean was out front of the flower shop right before the camera stops working. So he, you know, cuts to him and Sean both walking into an interrogation room. And we get to see Michael and Sean being interrogated. Michael's like, look, I have evidence that Sean is the one traitor. Sean was the one out front of my house. He's the one that called me about Jason's injuries before it was even reported. He's like, all of the evidence is pointing towards Sean being the one behind all the attacks. And then we learn that there is a video of the attack on Jason in the parking garage. And from that video, they show the motorcyclist didn't have a helmet on. And whenever the motorcyclist was on the way out of the garage, you have to wait for the gate to open. When he stops, there's a clear picture of the person. And we see that it's Chris. And from that picture, Michael's like, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, I've known Chris for 10 years. Like, we've been together for 10 years. Like, I don't understand. I know everything about Chris. He's like an Australian born, you know, from a military family. He's half Australian, half American. He's a great guy. You know, he likes sushi. He hates raw fish. He goes, you know, through all the list. And that's when an official drops a folder on the table and explains to him he thinks that Chris has been stealing old files from Michael's old computers and old documentation, using all of his old passwords and connections to hack into the computer systems and steal all this information and selling it on the dark web. They then revealed that, yes, Chris is an Australian-born son of a military officer, but we learn that his father actually left him there, and his mother wasn't actually Australian. She was Russian. And that Chris has basically been a secret spy for the Russian government, releasing information and just using Michael to gain that information. And this leaves Michael devastated, and he's just sitting in the room. They inform him, like, look, we're not going to try you for treason because clearly you did not know about any of this. But we are going to put Chris on the most wanted list, and we are going to keep tabs on you, and we're going to have you work and help us find Chris. And so that's how the movie ends. Clap, 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 clap. Like I said, I really like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. It's a phenomenal movie.
Oh, that was nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was very nice.
It's very hard to fucking think of a story, but I had to make Michael Keaton gay. I love him too much. I think he'd play a great old gay man.
Oh,
In
for
what?
sure.
Anything. Make Birdcage too.
Okay. I didn't know what you were for. I was like, do you mean in something he's already done, or just for your story? I wasn't sure.
Any
I was like, wait,
story.
hold on,
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I said,
He
did I
has
miss
played a
something?
gay man before. I have no idea.
Chelsea says he's great. Dope sick.
I haven't
not
watched
go-
it yet, but,
I'm not gonna watch Dope Sick.
I mean, I
yeah,
don't give a
probably
fuck
won't.
about it. I just like Michael Keaton. I think he's awesome. But
but also, as you were telling your story, I came up with an idea.
did you?
No, stop it, came. When you were telling
I hope
your
you wrote
story,
it down.
I came.
Oh, I did. I put a little tidbit in there.
I saw you go.
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck, that's an idea.
I was like, I either said something great or Adam had a brain blast.
Two, they're connected.
Oh, hell
You
yeah.
said something that triggered a thing. I was like, oh fuck, that's a great idea.
There we go. Well,
We'll do it. Like we'll
yeah.
do that
After the final
after
story,
David and yeah.
and we can then judge and have all the fun. But David, you are up, my friend.
So this is where things are gonna get tough. I don't have my story. I just looked on my phone when you were telling your story, and it is fucking gone.
Oh,
So I'm gonna try to do it from as much memory as I possibly can. So
was it in your
Don't worry.
notes?
yes, and I guess I either added something and then never went back and saved it and deleted the whole thing or some shit, or because there was a couple times I went back and like fixed a couple things. I was like, oh, let me do this, because I had literally just a little bit of info that I had to have that was like little points that I just needed to put in because I didn't know. Which I'll explain at the end what I didn't know, obviously, and now I won't know either. So I'll have to just make it kind of bland, or I'll tell it in the middle of the story. Either
Let
way.
me check there. I think
But-
there might be a
Did
recovery.
you check your other like folders or something in notes?
No, I just have like just the standard, like you go in, hit the plus button, open a new folder, and I was typing it just in a fresh folder, and at some point I fucking deleted. I accidentally deleted it, I guess. I don't know if I thought it was.
deleted thing too. I don't know if that's on yours or not.
Let me see.
Because mine,
Where
I
at?
have the iCloud.
Yeah, so
Dude,
it
my-
gives you, like in your notes, right? You get
Dude, my
hit the
iCloud
back
is
button,
full.
folders.
Yeah.
There's like different like places to go.
Are you talking about click the three dots?
I have the option to view as gallery, select notes, sort notes, or view attachment.
Yeah, never mind then.
You done fucked up, AA Bron.
Yep.
Yeah, or I can hit the writing utensil down there and start writing again.
Or be a bitch like me and physically write them out. You fucking
That's-
weebs.
I think I have to now because I don't have this shit. And if I go all the way back into the folders, it's just notes and notes, and that's it. There's Outlook notes and iCloud notes, and the iCloud notes is empty, and the notes that I have like regular for Outlook have 88 in them.
I even have my stand-up jokes written in here, but all right. Sorry for the interruption. Good luck, sir.
Yep. Yeah.
I look
I have
forward
one
to
of my
it.
I have one of my jokes in here too. I'm gonna put it out there real quick. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
What's the deal with airline food? I don't get it. That's it.
I hate that.
Nobody does.
I
It's
love
COVID.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well, that's going to be a tagline.
It works for everything. You know, you could replace airline food with gays, Karens. Doesn't matter. You pick a subject.
Fitbit.
What's the deal with Fitbit? I don't get it.
Twitter me. Twitter me.
Me. Yeah, drunk uncle is the
Bobby
greatest.
Moynihan.
He's the
I
man.
love Bobby. He's so funny. Has anyone watched Mr. Mayor?
No, I've been meaning to though.
It's pretty good.
Oh, so you've already dove in?
I've watched a few episodes. It's pretty good.
I started this
Okay,
new show
that's what's
called
up.
Community.
Oh fuck you!
Okay. After David do your story, and then we'll get to all this.
All right.
Oh,
So-
shit.
Before I actually tell the story, I'll just put a little info in here. Elliot, it's funny that you said golden eyes. 'Cause it's not golden eyes, but the movie takes most of its premise from Golden Eye itself. So when you were like golden eyes, I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. No, it's not, but it is.
Bum,
So-
bum, bum, bum.
The movie itself is just simply called Gemini. So that is my the work title for that. James Bond, Gemini, blah blah blah. My movie is going to, if you don't know, star Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, Matt Smith, and Gal Gadot, whatever, you know.
Gadot?
She's in it.
Gal Gadot.
Go- Gal Gadot, you know. She's great. She's wonderful. That's why I put her in my movie. There's no Harvey Weinstein.
I was
going on,
just
I
about to
promise.
say. No offense, but that way you said that. That's why I put you in my movie.
That's why I put you in my movie. Yeah, no, nothing like that going on, unfortunately. But
Why is the
All right,
door
mate.
locked?
you know, whatever. Why's your penis out? For fun.
What?
You
My
want
name
to
is-
roll in my movie? You want to work in this town ever again?
Call me Louie, bitch.
Yeah.
Just jerking off behind this tree.
Just watch me. Just watch me. All right, but best from my recollection without having it actually written down.
All right, good. Spit it.
The story is going to start off with kind of like a cool open shot of Monte Carlo, just because why not? It's going to show little couple quick spots around the casino. Everyone's having a good time in there. You can see ding, ding, dings, people flipping cards, people throwing chips down. And it's going to pan up from the table, and you're going to see Matt Smith, who looks a little drunk. He looks a little shit-faced. He's definitely moving and grooving. He's slurring his words as he's speaking. He's kind of talking back and forth with the whole table, but they can tell this man's just trashed. And he's betting big, and he's losing big, and he just keeps messing up. And one of the guys at the table goes, "Hey, I don't think blackjack's your game." And he's like, "Oh no, it's my game. Things will turn around." He's like, "I think you're better off at like Texas Hold'em or Baccarat or something." And he goes, "No, I think I'm gonna stay here." He's like, "Don't worry about it. I'll be fine." So as you look down the table, you see a woman sitting at the other side of it, which is Gal Gadot. She's playing anchor as they play blackjack. And the next hand goes well. It's awesome. Matt Smith wins. He makes a spectacle. Things are great. He starts betting bigger. He's still winning. He's still winning. And everyone at the table is just in shock. They are so excited. They're like, yeah, get it. You know, it's like the guy rolling craps all the time, and everyone's cheering him on. So he starts getting his wins, and the people from the casino floor start looking at it like real strange. They're like, what is this man doing? Why is he winning so much? What's going on? So the last hand he was doing, he decided to bet everything he had in his pocket. You know, he took all of his chips, he laid them down. Casino comes and talks to him. They're like, we think you're counting cards. We think this is going on. And everyone at the table is like, do you see how drunk this man is? How could this man count cards at this state? It's just not possible. So after a little back and forth bickering, they decide, you know what, if he wants to bet this money, let's let him do it. And he's like, odds are he's not going to get this hand anyway. So as all the cards flip out, he's sitting on 2 kings by the end of it. And Gal Gadot's at the end of the table, and she's sitting on just a simple 11. So things are looking good for her. Things are looking good for him. He decides to stay. Well, the dealer is just simply showing a 5 on the top card. And Gal Gadot goes to take her hits. And the first card she pulls is an ace, giving her only 12. And she keeps flipping until she actually busts. Sure enough, comes to the dealer's turn. The dealer flips only small cards, pulls a 21, takes the money from him, and he is escorted out of the casino. So she took the dealer's bust card. Sure enough, they're actually in cahoots outside of the casino, and he asked, "Why did you tank the table?" He's like, why would you do that to me? And she goes, "Did you not see everyone looking at you?" He's like, "Of course I did. It didn't mean I wasn't going to get out with this money." So as they're bickering back and forth once again, which I had dialogue for, but not in front of me, they get into, obviously, an Aston Martin, and they drive off. As they're driving off, they go to like one of those super nice resort type hotels. This isn't like the casino there. This is super tight. Everything's fantastic. And they go into the room, and they're finishing their bickering. And as they're finishing their bickering, things are getting hot. You can see them getting closer and closer as they're arguing until they're basically just like lip to lip. And he asks her, he's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this?" And she's like, "Of course I do." And he goes, "I don't think this is a good idea." He's like, he's like, "What would M say?" And she goes, "I don't care what M would say." And he goes, 006, "I don't think this is a good idea." And she goes, "James, stop worrying so much." And of course they go into the bed, and then you get the absolute fuck scene that everybody was looking for. Yep. This is James Bond, baby. We're fucking out here. And James Bond gets his nut, and as he's finished, and he decides he needs to get up, because of course when you get up after a long lovemaking in a hotel, you need to go get ice for some reason. So as he's heading out to the ice bucket,
You gotta ice your nuts, dude.
Yeah, dude. You
Yep.
gotta ice your balls,
after
bro.
all that slapping,
You burn that wood, bro.
A little tender.
after all that goes on, he makes his way to the machine, barely gets the bucket in before you hear 006 like screaming like crazy. Gal Gadot's character is yelling, screaming for James, and you can hear loud thuds from the room. Sure enough, in this room there are two men in ski masks, and they are getting their asses handed to them at this point. Gal Gadot is literally kicking the shit out of them. She's hitting them in the legs with kicks. She's hitting them in the body, the face, the head. She's just knocking these dudes around. So sure enough, after that, James gets back. He helps put everything under control, takes one to him. She takes one. They rip their ski masks off to find out it's the 007s from past. It's Pierce Brosnan and Timothy Dalton who have broken into the room. So they explain themselves, and they say there's something going on that we need to talk to you two about, because nobody outside of a 00 agent is going to ever understand what we need to do. And M can't be informed because we know that she has information that she's kept from you, 006, that we are trying to find more info on. All we have are tidbits, but we know she's recently betrayed you in the past about your actual lineage. And she goes, well, I've never met my parents. I don't know who they are. Everybody's always told me they just died. That's why I was an orphan in Romania, and they just picked me up and brought me into MI6 one day. So they go, well, we're trying to unveil the rest of the story for you, but we promise we're going to find it out. And then they go on to explain that their lives after MI6 as 00 agents, 007, each of them, and being James Bond has been absolutely insane. And they describe just the things they've been through and how being James Bond is not what it's cut out to be, which gives you now the hint that James Bond and 007 are both just monikers for whoever holds the title. No one's name is actually James Bond in this case. This is just the name they use to keep the James Bond legacy going in the espionage world. So after they do their explanation of that, they tell them, they say, hey, we hear there's this new satellite going up, and it's a pair of satellites called Gemini. And they said it's very specific to how GoldenEye was built, but it's much more dangerous because not only is it armed with nuclear warheads, but it also has extreme data calculations on it. They've farmed so much info about everyone everywhere. They've also have now the ability to block out internet. They're able to take internet from the entire world and pretty much anything else they want after that, because once they take over the internet and they control everything, they can shut down power grids, power plants, whatever they need. So reluctantly they kind of agree after that, because they want to know what M did. They want to know what's going on, that two 00 agents would come back from the past just for this one reason. So they take off, and they decide as they're driving, they're like, well, why didn't you just tell us this? What was this whole song and dance with the masks and everything else? They're like, well, we just didn't know how capable you really were. And we didn't know 006 was literally going to kick the shit out of us. We never anticipated that. So they're just driving off, and they explain, hey, I think we need to start finding where somebody could get these materials to build these two Gemini satellites. We need to figure out where they're at, what's going on, and how we can stop it. Once again, I had more dialogue and more info for this, but they basically get to a very specific type of mine that was mining titanium. And titanium is just one of the best metals that I was researching, and a couple other things that you can use to make satellites. So I looked up all the stuff for how to block internet, how to cause EMPs, all this shit. Of course, I don't have it, so take that as you will.
No, you get
it. So they find out the mine itself, where the titanium would have been, was actually destroyed. It would have been robbed of the only resource there of the titanium. They took it, and nobody knows where it is. So they know that clearly Gemini is getting closer and closer to being either built or going online. So the next thing they need to do is figure out where the next piece of the actual satellite would come from. They're like, well, we know there's going to be nuclear warheads, so where can we find warheads? How do we get warheads? So they do some research, and they find out that there has been an extreme cash flow into Yemen. So they take off, go to Yemen, find out that there is a deal going on right now, and that they can attempt to stop it to try to get these warheads from being put into these satellites. So this is where you get to actually see the full espionage go down. Like, this is one of the best parts of the movie I was hoping to make, because you're going to see 3 007s just full on zipline into a building. They're going to come flying in, almost like Batman from Dark Knight. He's just coming right in for him. 006 is right behind him. and there's just awesome mega super gunfights, including close hand-to-hand combat, where you just see once again Gal Gadot is just absolutely kicking the shit out of people. Like, she's just a master kicker. Like, she's just booting people in the face, taking people down, sweeping them by their legs. It's fantastic. Once again, I had more for that, but we have to leave that where it is. So once they get through with that, they end up talking to the people who were doing the sale, and they were like, "What are you talking about? We did the sale a week ago. We've just been here waiting for the confirmation of the payment. We only got half, and we were guaranteed that the other half would come through tonight, and then we could leave, and then we would be out of here. But we can't tell you anything else because we don't actually know who bought them or what. We left them one place. The payment was made. The warheads were gone. So now time's getting closer. Things are crunching down. They don't know what to do. And Matt Smith's character, 007 James Bond, gets a call from M, which is still played by Judi Dench, because suck it.
Judi Dench.
Absolutely. And she goes, 007, where are you? It's like, where are you in 006? You were supposed to be back yesterday. You know, you've been gone 3 days past the time you said you were going to be. We don't understand where you are. What's happening? And he goes, oh, you wouldn't believe what happened in Monte Carlo. Like, we've had such a hiccup. And he decides to try to play it off that 006 got hurt. She's not fit for travel. And Emma's like, oh, that sounds unlike her. She's so, careful what she does. I've never even seen her fall down. And he's like, yeah, well, unfortunately, we had a little too much to drink. She took a slip, and, her knee's just not in the best place right now. And just, he just makes up a generic ass lie. So M just takes it for what it is and says, well, when will you be back? He says, give us 3 more days for everything. Let the swelling go down, and then we'll take the next plane out back to England. She accepts it. They move on, and they try to figure out, well, what could be the next place to go after this? Like, if we've already lost the warheads and lost the most of the material that the satellite's going to be built out of, what do we do? So they decide to move on and find out, well, they need a base. Somebody has to control it from somewhere. So they start doing research, and they're looking up where's the best place they could, set up a satellite, which, of course, they find the old spot in Russia where they had GoldenEye set up, and they go back to that, and they say, oh, man, do you think anybody would actually try to use this facility again? It's been destroyed. And they get back, and it's been completely rebuilt, but nobody's there. It's rebuilt. Everything's on. There's computers. There's everything you could possibly need. Well, sure enough, the only thing they didn't have were the actual... One second. Hold on. I have to cough. 1 second.
You good.
Was the original keys they used to turn on
Adam's
GoldenEye.
face made me laugh. It looked like somebody just sharded.
But so they didn't have the original keys to actually turn on GoldenEye, because if you remember, they had to do the 1, 2, 3 turn to get it to turn on. Well, they were using most of the same technology that was there and put it back together. So as they get them there, they find out that for unknown reasons, which I had written down as well, that Matt Smith's character 007 and 006 Gal Gadot actually have the keys on them at all times, but never knew why. It was just something that M tasked them with, to never lose these keys. And where the plot twist comes in, Gemini is actually the 2 original 007 agents, and they pull a turncoat on Matt Smith and Gal Gadot's characters, and they're like, so, blah, 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 here's why we brought you here. We hate MI6. Whatever happened to us is the issue, so on and so forth. I had lots of stuff written down, especially where Pierce Brosnan was in Die Another Day, and he got tortured and shit, and he had that whole scene where he was just getting fucked up all day, every day. So I got into that part of it a little bit and did some of this and that. Timothy Dalton just didn't have enough money. He couldn't survive. MI6 wasn't giving him anything. He was just some old washed up spy that nobody gave a shit about. And after a little while, Pierce Brosnan decided that he wanted to take MI6 completely out, and he figured, well, why not just, do what 006 in his time tried to do, and let's just take over the world. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can threaten the entire nation or the world and take it over. So after the explanation, 006 decides to ask, he's like, so you don't know who my parents are? You lured me here. Are you serious? I can't believe you would do this. Do you not remember what I did to you in the hotel room? Because it's about to happen again. And they're like, sweetheart, we know that you're quite the fighter, but we were holding back. We were never going to let you actually win that fight if it actually came down to it. He's like, but you know what? That's okay. He's like, you're going to die soon anyway, so we'll tell you who your parents are. And this would be something that would happen prior to GoldenEye, but while 006 and GoldenEye was planning his whole mission to make GoldenEye active, he just so happened to have met another spy / soldier named Xenia Onatop. And 2 years prior to GoldenEye, they made a baby that they gave away because they didn't know what to do with it.
That sex crazy girl.
Uh-huh.
That rode down the helicopter rope and.
You know the sex crazy girl who killed everybody with her legs?
Yep, who tried breaking Bond's back with her legs in the hot in the sauna.
Hint. So there's the callback. That's why she's so strong. And they actually already knew. Em already had an idea that this was going on afterwards. She already had this intel. And then once they dumped her at the orphanage, it wasn't long after that Em went and took the kid and was like, these were two of the greatest agents that have ever existed. Their child has to be insane. Let's get her in training right away. So after she learns who her parents are, she's like, I can't even believe this. And they were like, hey, you know, if you really feel this way, why don't you just join us? We'll take out 007 here. We'll get rid of him. We'll take over, and you can just join us instead. So, of course, being the little minx that she is, just like her mother, she tries to pull it off and tries to go over, and it's not long before they just crack her in the back of the head and knock her ass out, leaving only James to figure out what to do. So the first thing James does, he pulls the key out. He's like, well, you know what? If you want this key, you're going to have to come get it from me. He kind of like waves it around and then just swallows it. He just throws it down the hatch. So Timothy Dalton's character decides he's going to be the one to go after it for Matt Smith, while Pierce Brosnan is like checking 006's body for her key. After he's done checking her body, obviously Matt Smith and Timothy Dalton are just having a full-on throwdown. You know, he's shooting at him. Matt Smith is shooting back. Matt Smith is running. He's trying to find a place to hide and get ready. Timothy Dalton chases him down. Neither of them are out of ammo. They're still shooting back and forth until they get to this long hallway. All those lights are lit up and everything else. And currently Pierce Brosnan still hasn't found the key. So he decides to let them go do their thing. Matt Smith gets the drop on Timothy Dalton. They get into a full-on crazy-ass fist fight. Obviously, Matt Smith being younger and still trained just by MI6. It doesn't take long before after this fight, he comes out the victor, runs back to find that not only does Pierce Brosnan actually have the key in his hand, but he's got a gun to 006's head. And he's like, listen, he's like, I'm going to need that key one way or another. He's like, you can either give me the key and I'll let you two live and you can do whatever you want. We'll figure it out from there. Or I can kill her, take this key, kill you, cut the key out of your stomach, and then it's whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Of course, Matt Smith's like, oh, no, don't do it. And he's like, I'll purge the key. I'll get it out of my system. So as he goes to purge his key, even with the gun to her head, 006 fears nothing. And she just does a full-on, like, roundhouse sweep to the legs, drops Pierce Brosnan to his face, gun goes off, she takes a bullet to the knee. Just, she's down. She's fucked up. She's on the ground. Matt Smith runs over the control panel, jumps up, dives under Pierce Brosnan, where they get into just a full-on ground scrap, which is mostly just a bunch of jiu-jitsu moves, I'll be honest. I was just mad rolling, just all sorts of...
John Wick moves.
Everything that you would think a ground fight would look like in high speed, this is what's going on. They're trying to break each other's arms, legs, necks, whatever they can get, so one of them can come out on top on Victor. Well, finally, Matt Smith gets a triangle choke, because that's my favorite choke. Gets a triangle choke on Pierce Brosnan, and Pierce Brosnan's just like, no way. Picks him up and just slams him to the ground, and you see his head bounce off the concrete. He's done. Reaches over, grabs the gun that they end up next to, of course, goes to put a bullet in him, and sure enough, Gal Gadot is up, even with the knee injury, and she jumps up and snaps his neck with her thighs, just like her mom. Just spins this man's head right around. And then basically at this point, the ending is the ending. Obviously, they win. They take the keys back. They tell M what goes on. M explains why they took her from the orphanage at the time they did, and never explained that, yes, of course, she was two of the world's greatest spies child, but they were also two of the most evil fucking beings at the time trying to destroy the world. So potato, they go back. She's good, needs fixed. They're back in Monte Carlo. Matt Smith wins his fucking blackjack, gets all his money. Ha ha ha. Movie's over. Boom.
Clapping.
Yeah, there was
Did-
more little, there's more
Yeah,
little
clapping.
intricate things to add into it, but like I honestly couldn't remember.
No, I think you
No,
did
that was
well.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
the little bits.
I didn't get confused this time around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't either.
It's more
That was-
straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that's why I called it. I was like, yeah, Gemini, 2 satellites, 2 bonds that are bad, 2 keys. We're here.
I liked it. I'm a Gemini. I was born in May.
Yeah, we're twinning.
The only thing I wrote down
Losers.
that made me giggle was at one point how M knew that girl was born from Agent 00 Agent 6 Alec
Alex,
and that girl.
Alec.
And it just made me laugh because it made me think of when Basil and the Spy Who Shagged Me, when they're like, yeah, Vanessa was a fembot. And he's like, yes, we knew all along. Like, it just made me think of that. Like, I don't know. I watched that this weekend when Mila was over. So it was so funny. Yes, we knew all along. He's like,
No, it's funny you say that because that's actually why I left it that way. I didn't have any actual explanation for that, except that it just was. That's why. And there was like 2 other Austin Powers references I was gonna try to make, but I could not fit them in.
I liked it. This is going to be a hard judging session for myself personally. But Adam, what was the thing you wrote down? What was it?
Oh.
I'm curious now. I sparked a brain blast.
Oh, to do a sports themed spy movie.
Mm-hmm.
You have a Russian
spies.
spy infiltrating the 1980 U.S. men's hockey team.
Ah,
They
Kurt
figured
Russell,
out.
Miracle.
They give them fake data, and that's how they end up winning. They give them like fake
Yeah, they gave him fake plays.
practice
and
footage or whatever,
Mhm.
whatever
showing
they
them.
got, and then they find out.
So he's a double
Obviously.
agent.
Yeah,
No. There's just one
That-
spy, but
they
the
leaked
U.S. team finds
false
out that
information. Yeah.
there's a Russian
Oh, gotcha. So the
spy.
Russians still for
give
Russia.
him kind of the fake info to
Yeah, they
feed
watch
back
like a
to their
fake
national
hockey team, thinking that that's going to be
Yeah.
the real
They're
national
running like
team.
fake practices and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where it's like not the real shit. But then obviously, then
I like
they
it.
fucking beat them, and then that spy gets killed because it's Russia.
America.
That you know what's fucked up. So not only do I think that would make a great story, but I'm not trying to be a dick. I feel like that would be an even better Mighty Ducks type movie. Like that would be such
Yeah.
a good like not kids movie, but like young adult.
Turns
type
out
movie to
Charlie
do on
was a
that.
Russian
Yeah.
spy the whole
Yeah.
time.
Like the Olympics,
Yeah,
everything's
it
great,
actually-
but for some reason I thought it'd be a great like Mighty Ducks style movie after that. I was like, there's could be so many awesome jokes and shit like that, and like it'd be
Team
so
Iceland.
good.
And
Yeah.
it kind of ties together both like this week and the last one,
Yeah.
like a historical fiction spy.
Yeah, that would be, you would two-bird it. Well, fuck,
Two-bird.
mates. Like, I don't.
Actually, Ellie, I got to tell both you guys about this.
Yeah.
So, do you remember the movie that I was fucking with when I was like, "Oh, what's a bear?" and had the whole like competition of the gay people and all that other shit, and it was like trying to
Mhm.
find love. So somebody fucking made like a TikTok, not about it, but something similar. And they were like, "What if you had this show where you had 15 men, one of them was straight, but the rest were gay, and all the gay men had to try to find the straight man, right?" So he's like, yeah, so what they'll do is they'll have $1 million cash prize, and if the fucking straight man makes it to the end, he gets the $1 million. But if the gay people can weed him out, they'll take the $1 million and split it between them and still have like a pretty good amount of money in their pocket. And as I'm listening, I'm like, yo, that's a funny idea. That's great. That's so good. That's so close to like kind of what I was talking about. And then this man took it a step further. He's like, but there's a plot twist. He's like, they're all fucking straight, and you have to see how far they'll go to be gay to try to prove that they're gay and not straight.
Oh, that is fucking rude, but amazing.
That's
That's
good,
fucking
yeah.
awesome, dude. Like, Could you imagine that Big Brother story as you watch all these straight men
Oh.
trying to act gay?
I don't
But-
think you can make that a show, but as like a fake show that a movie's about, for sure.
Yeah.
Dude,
that would be
it'd be
killer.
so funny. I was literally just thinking, I was like, yo, as a straight man trying to act gay, to convince other people you're gay, it's like, yo, the straight men are not going to be able to tell what's an act and what's not.
To be honest, that's how
Especially
you know
if
you had
everybody
lightning.
is.
You had lightning in a bottle right there with your idea that somebody
Yeah.
else came up. It's like the first dude who invented, like, Coca-Cola, and then Pepsi came around. I don't know actually who came first,
I think
Pep-
Coke did. I think
the
I think Coke
Pepsi or
came
the
first.
egg.
I think Coke came first for sure.
Yeah, I think it's Coke.
I don't know. We went to the Dr. Pepper Museum. That's all I remember.
Ah, fuck that place.
I mean, to be fair, it was pretty cool when we looked down that well and all the other stuff. Like,
That was like the only cool part.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I've
hated
never-
that.
I didn't even know there was a Dr. Pepper museum.
it's in
Like, you got me-
Waco, dude.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
That's what's up.
it was pretty. I mean, we didn't. It was so hot. We didn't even want our free Dr.
So
Pepper.
fucking hot.
We were like,
You
can we
look-
just
I
have
was going
water?
That day.
I was say you like Dr. Pepper. I like Dr. Pepper.
I love Dr. Pepper.
I don't
but-
mind Dr. Pepper.
But it was like 102,
yeah.
and we were walking around. So like we were fucking
Well, and
thirsty.
we were outside like standing
entire
in line to
time.
get into Magnolia
Yeah, that was
for
terrible.
like an hour.
I mean, that was fun, but it was terrible. Like how hot it
Yeah.
was.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean those cupcakes were fun.
Yeah, those cupcakes were worth it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We
They were
paid
so good.
$16 for like cupcakes, and they were worth it.
They were so good.
They were stuffed to the brim, and then some.
Wait, 16 for one or like 16 for three?
No, it was for 6, I think.
Yeah, 16.
Oh,
It was more
16
than
for
16.
6. How
But
big
it
were
was
they?
more
Give
than
me-
16.
Dude, they were
They
like
were
this.
good
They were like
size.
this big. They were like 6-inch
That's not-
cupcakes.
That's not
They
bad.
were
That's not
good.
even. That's not. I thought you got
think it
like
was more than
3. I was
16.
like $5 a fucking
Well,
cupcake.
I was
base.
saying like
It was more than
the
16.
the inside, like so the actual breading of the cupcake or the cake was like 6, and then the icing on top was huge. It was,
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
it was
and they were
hard to eat.
stuffed. Yeah, they were
sounds
they
great.
were
They were so good though.
make my dick puke come.
Bleh.
Well, fuck. All right. I guess Adam, what movie do you think we'll go in order? What movie are you voting as a loser this time? It's so tough. You know what I mean? Like I feel
I'll be
bad
honest.
saying it.
I will vote for myself.
Are you?
Yeah. I hated my story. I hated the whole thing of it. I hated everything.
I was gonna say I like because of the fact that David made a cohesive story after deleting his story. Like
Yeah.
at first I was gonna give you a negative, David, because I was like, you motherfucker. But then I was like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna have that bias. I'm gonna let him spitball it and see if he can get it. And you actually made a cohesive story that I could follow.
Yeah, it
That
existed.
had a plot twist.
I swear the whole thing existed.
Oh, we could tell.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not like you were making it up as you went.
Yeah.
Like, you had the storyline. It just wasn't quite right in front of you.
Yeah. But I have to vote Adam, unfortunately.
Yeah, I knew it coming in. That's a bad story.
Oh, then there's no point. That's done then. It's two.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
So
I knew it. coming into this.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
this week's
It's
loser
me, I'm a loser.
is Adam,
I'm a
baby.
loser, baby.
So why don't
So
you?
why don't you punish me?
So why don't you
Oh baby.
show off the spin? Adam decked out the
Oh,
wheel
yeah,
this time
like,
around. He made some
newly designed it.
modifications. I can't wait. I'm excited. I also.
Hola, baby.
All right, let me click this bitch and get her loaded. I'm gonna be honest. I'm 2 beers drank.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, never mind. You don't have to say anything else. Yeah, you are. I'm swear to drunk, I'm not God. Fucking.
I will piss. The lucky thing is my bathroom's right there, so like, it's so much more convenient to piss. Dude, I like the way the spin wheel looks.
Yeah, the black and white's great.
I just like the logo in the middle.
Logo there in the middle.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, the
No,
logo's
no,
good.
David's
I
like,
was
I
everything
really
about
like
it.
the color aesthetic. I'm like, motherfucker, you
Well,
better
I meant
promote.
because of the
Yeah.
logo.
No, I
obviously.
know. I was just kidding.
Our super delicious black and white
So,
cookie logo.
Let's see. We have accents, wet clothes, hot pepper, bad movie / show review, cinnamon challenge, fast slow banana. None of these. I mean, one of these is one I would want to do. none of these are ones I'd want to do. You know what I mean?
Tell me the
I
banana is the
want-
one you want to do.
To do the bananas,
I know.
for sure.
I want the banana. The accent one, I feel like, is so
Also,
challenging.
I don't think the hot pepper would be like it's gonna suck, but it's not the worst.
No, because
It depends on the pepper, though. It
Yeah.
depends on what you get.
Yeah, but still, like it. That's not the worst. That's not the most.
no.
Wet clothes is gonna suck.
What clothes would be? I'm very unfortunate.
I think cinnamon is going to be maybe the funniest to watch.
I don't know.
Cinnamon is maybe the easiest because it's literally just cinnamon. Like
Yeah.
it's just a spoonful of cinnamon.
I mean,
Yeah, but the puffing of it
sucks.
coming out, the coughing,
it's
like
don't get me wrong. It's
Yeah.
terrible, but it's the easiest one to accomplish.
the hardest one is bad movie review.
Yeah, there's so much effort involved.
There is a lot of effort put into
Plus,
it.
you have to watch a really bad movie or show.
What one do you not
and then
want
review
the
it.
most? Are you saying?
Oh
I feel like he doesn't want the movie just based on the time.
no, actually, that one wouldn't be the
Probably
I really don't want,
accents.
like,
What
wet clothes
accent?
and accents would be the worst ones, I think. Because I know I'll forget to do an accent like at points during the time.
Yeah.
And that's it. Just throw everything off. Okay, here we go.
I'm fucking nervous for you. Please, fast, slow banana. If there's a god in this world.
It is the
Yes. Oh,
Can't wait to watch that.
There is a god, guys. I have to rewrite the book.
The best.
Holy
Ugh,
shit!
Yes.
Well, Adam has to fast, slow banana on. We won't. Maybe not the
Fast
next.
Slow banana.
Should we do the next episode or in the draft episode? It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll work
at-
out the logistics.
before we draft. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
banana for you.
So.
I think we do it during the draft because that's when I showed David what we got. Right.
Yep, I think that's gonna be
Yeah,
the
that way it
format.
ties it all
D&D will
together.
be its own world.
Yeah. D&D and then the fun episodes are their own world.
Well, fuck, I
And
would.
we'll just
Oh man,
put
It-
these together.
we're already an hour 20 in. I don't wanna. I was about to tell stories about Johnny's adventures, but it's not. I'll save it. I'll save that story.
Don't save it. Just do it.
Just tell it.
You're gonna forget. You're gonna forget details.
Fine, I'll tell it real
You
quick.
might as well just do it now.
So Johnny had a trip to New Jersey planned last week. He was supposed to leave on Wednesday, and we were gonna watch his dog for him, Mila, little cute husky, all white. So he's getting ready to bring her over on Wednesday, I think it was. It was either like a Tuesday or Wednesday. It doesn't matter. But as he was getting ready to come over, he's like checking his flight, and his flight got canceled. And he's like, what the fuck? And they just pushed it 12 hours or so. And he's like, well, fuck. Like, I won't bring her over just yet. He's like, I'll bring her over the next day. We're like, all right, no worries, dude. Like, we're moving. We were in the apartment still on the way to our house. We'll watch her for the weekend. We don't give a fuck. Like, it'll be easy. She's a great dog. So then he finally brings her over, and he's like, all right, I'm going to go to the airport. You know, I'll let you guys know, like, if she's good, here's all of her food, blah, 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 blah. Hey, okay. Goes to the airport. He gets on his flight. His flight's from Houston, Miami, New Jersey. He gets to Miami. His fucking flight gets canceled from Miami to New Jersey.
Shit.
He's like, what the fuck? Like, at first it got delayed like 6 hours. Then they straight up just canceled it, and he had to book another flight from there. And he's like, never again. I'm never flying with Spirit again. I was like, well,
that
that's your
was a
first fucking
mistake.
mistake, dude.
Yeah.
You're flying in Spirit. He was like, my ticket was only $20. I'm not mad, but
They
I'm just
probably had the
disappointed.
best price, yeah.
So then,
Yeah,
he
but that's what you get with
Yeah.
stupid Spirit.
So he finally gets to New Jersey, and he's at the airport already for like 10 hours. Gets to Jersey. You know, he's doing his shit. We're watching the dog. She's great. The first night, she's a little fussy because she's a year old and she's a husky. She's very temperamental, and like we had, you know, the house, we just have boxes everywhere and stuff everywhere, and I'm like, I didn't want her fucking up stuff. We let her in the bedroom for a little bit, and then she ate our aloe vera plant. Like, she bit and ripped off, and we're like, one, that's poisonous to you, and two, like, asshole. So we had her in the living room, and then she fucking just starts fucking up the couch cushions and scraping. I was like, you bitch, like, the fuck. Huskies
Ski life right there.
Well, they get bored easily.
Yeah.
So I was taking her on like 3 walks a day, every day, and Johnny was supposed to come back Sunday. Well, we had her from Thursday. Sunday comes, and he's like, hey, man, my flight from fucking Jersey back to Houston got canceled. And I was like, what the fuck? He's like, dude, I don't know. He's like, I have another flight. He's like, it's from fucking Jersey to Tennessee, Tennessee to Houston. He's like, I don't get in till late. It'll probably be like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock till I can pick her up. Is that fine? I'm like, dude, it's no problem. Your dog's great. Like, we have enough food. I have treats. Like, I take her on walks. Like, she's got her kennel, like water. We've been treating her nice. We've been having a great time with her while we move and stuff. And like, it's not really a hassle. He gets on his flight to go to Tennessee, right? They get to the airport and they don't have available tarmac. So they're having to fly around the airport for 45 minutes.
That's fucked up.
He missed his connecting flight. And everybody on that flight that was going to Houston is then on standby. Johnny's at the back of the standby list. They tell him, we don't have a plane for you for another day. You're going to have to spend the night in Nashville. He's like, what the fuck? They're like, but we'll give you a hotel room and a dinner for free, since we fucked you over. He's like, I mean, sure, but like, I'm missing work at this point and I'm supposed to pick up my dog. And we're like, I told him, I was like, dude, it's fine. Like, Chelsea has to go back to the apartment to work. We'll take Mila back to the apartment. We're sleeping at the house, but at the time the internet was still at the apartment because that was a whole fucking nightmare where the people who own the house never switched their fucking internet to their new residence. So that took a week to get fixed. Oh, and then the dude who did the install left 150 feet of wire, like a bundle of wire that they have. That shit's expensive. Fuck, he just left it outside our house. So it's in my garage now. It's mine. If you leave it, it's mine. But so, Johnny's like, what the fuck? And he doesn't get back till like Tuesday to pick her up. He got fucked over so bad by that trip. I was like, I felt terrible.
Wow.
I was like,
I know the feeling.
I know. It's the same shit happened to you. I had you, brother. I picked you up. Yours was, I laughed so hard listening to that.
The wrong airport.
Yeah. God damn. I went to the wrong airport. I mean, it's easy to do in Houston.
Yeah, there's 2.
They're literally 30 minutes apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, that shit was that was funny as fuck when I went to the wrong airport. I was like, oh, Adam, I'm at gate, like, Q. You're like, there's only 3 gates here. I'm like, I'm at the wrong airport. I will be there in 30 minutes. That shit was
no big
so
deal.
funny. Because it was because I dropped you off at that airport the last time. I think.
That's what I came in and out of last time.
Yeah, Bush.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I came in and out of Bush last time.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
That's what I'm saying. Living here has made my hair gray and changed me like in metaphysical ways like that.
The fetamisical?
Fetamizzle.
The fetamisical?
But fuck.
Oh my
Boys.
God.
This was a good episode. I think overall I liked our stories. I can't wait to see what we get next. I can't wait to D&D. Now that I have we have this office space set up, I can actually, and I got my dice and I got everything. Oh man. And I have written, it's just going to be great. You have the sword.
Yeah.
And you have to go back and see Roger Klotz. So we'll see what happens. But gentlemen, this was just another day with
David.
Adam?
Elliot. Like, comment, subscribe, click the bells. Goodbye, bye, love yous.
Here's a fact for you.
Oh, go ahead.
Did you know that the lighter was invented before matches?
Hold up.
Yeah.
Because of Flint?
I don't know. It was invented before matches. It was like 6 years before.
Now,
That's
how pissed
interesting.
How
That's a
pissed
good-
was
that's a good tip.
Now, which was first, Bic or
Now
what-
we're doing.
what's
we're
the
too
other
deep.
big one?
Well, shit,
Zippo?
lighters have been around since what,
Zippo.
like the 1800s or some shit.
Yeah, it's like 1816 or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I don't think
The
Zippo or Bic
matches
were
like
around then.
1825 or something like that was like
That's
the match.
crazy. That's amazing, actually.
The show has ended. The show has ended. It's just